Hello students, very good morning to all of you. Since yesterday we started our classes and from today we are going to see some basics in biology before we start our class 11 syllabus. Okay, so in general some common things I am going to tell you. Okay, as you now all have opted for science, let's see what is the meaning of science. Okay, what is the science? Okay, everyone might be knowing. Okay, what is a science? Now science word has been came from the word scientia. Okay, so the meaning of scientia is to know or knowledge. So the science or the branch which deals with or the branch which helps to understand the knowledge behind a particular thing, that is called as science. Okay, so science word has been came from scientia. Okay, scientia meaning to know or knowledge. Okay, till 10th standard you had only one subject, that is science. Okay, but as you come into class 11, this science get divided in number of subjects. Okay, from this you are going to opt for physics, chemistry, biology. In other subjects you have understood what is physics. In physics what we study, what is chemistry, in chemistry what type of study we do. Now what is the biology? Okay, now biology word has come from two Greek words, that is bios meaning life and logos meaning study. Okay, so what is meant by biology? Biology, it is a study of life and different life forms. Okay, so biology, it is nothing but study of life and different life forms. We know that whenever we see life, we are going to see what is meant by life, how can we define life. Yes, so there are number of living organisms. Okay, so study of life and different life forms, it comes under biology. Fine. So biology means it is a study of life and life forms. Okay, bios meaning life and logos meaning study. Okay, this biology is also known by some other names like biosciences, life sciences. As you go for your higher standards for PGs or for specialization, okay, you may hear this term like biosciences, life sciences. Okay, so this biology, it can be named as biosciences or life sciences. Fine. Now if we go back in the history, okay, some history related to biology, who discovered this branch or who used this branch. Okay, so the name comes first, that is Aristotle. Okay, so Aristotle called as father of biology. Okay, Aristotle, have you heard this name? Okay, I think you might have heard in your previous standard. Who was he? He was Greek naturalist. Okay, so Aristotle is called as father of biology, was Greek naturalist. Aristotle, Greek naturalist. Okay, he is called as father of biology. This point you have to remember, kids. Okay, it may happen that sometime this type of questions can be asked. Okay, or whenever you are solving some practice sheets, okay, that time this type of questions can come. Okay, so he was Greek naturalist. Okay, father of biology. Okay, his famous book name, it is Historia Animalium. Okay, so his famous book in which he mentioned or he describes number of plants and animals. So famous book Historia Animalium. His famous book is Historia Animalium. Okay, now this biology, it is usually classified as botany and zoology. Okay, this you might be knowing, because when we say biology, who are the dominating organisms in that? These are plants and animals. Okay, so this biology can be classified as botany and zoology. Fine. Biology can be classified as botany and zoology. Basic two branches of biology, botany and zoology. Botany, it is a science of plants. So when we study plants, okay, it comes under botany part. Okay, so science of botany, okay, science of plants is called as botany, whereas zoology, it is science of animals. Science of animals is called as zoology. Okay, now just like biology, there are fathers of zoology also, okay, as well as for botany. So father of botany is Theophrastus. Okay, so Theophrastus called as father of botany. Okay, this also you have to remember. Okay, Aristotle, father of biology, Theophrastus, father of, yes, botany. Theophrastus was student of Aristotle, okay, and he was Greek botanist. Okay, Theophrastus was student of Aristotle, okay, and he was Greek botanist. Okay, now botanists are those scientists or those people who are dealing with study of plants. They are called as botanists. Okay, now he described nearly 500 plants of food and of medicinal value. Okay, the characteristic or features which he considered for explanation or classification of those plants, they were morphological characteristics. Okay, so he classified, or he described nearly 500 plants, okay, of food and medicinal value. Fine. He used morphological characteristics for its classification. Morphological characteristics for classification. Okay, the famous book which was written by him, that is Historia Plantarum. Famous book of Theophrastus, that is Historia Plantarum. This also you have to remember. Okay, the famous book written by Theophrastus is Historia Plantarum. Okay, so botany, it is a science of plants in which we study aspects related to plant structural, functional aspects, reproductive aspects. Theophrastus called as father of botany. Theophrastus was Greek botanist and student of Aristotle. He described nearly 500 plants which were used as food and as a medicinal plant. The criteria he used for explanation or for the classification was morphological characteristics. Okay, and the famous book written by him, that is Historia Plantarum. Fine. Now zoology. Zoology is the science of animals. Okay, father of zoology is Aristotle itself. So if it comes for Aristotle, you have to remember Aristotle is father of biology as well as zoology. Okay, so Aristotle, father of biology as well as zoology. Okay, so father of zoology, Aristotle, father of zoology. Fine. Already about Aristotle we have discussed before. Okay, so this is the biology in which we study different types of plants and animals broadly. Now besides this we also learn about microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, okay, mycorrhiza, all these things. So biology, it is a very broad area where we discuss, we study about life and different life forms. Fine. Now biology is also called as science of exceptions. Okay, why? Because always we have some exceptions, it is not fixed. For example, okay, in your previous standard you have seen the classification of plants. Okay, usually we say that plants are classified as algae, fungi, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Angiosperms are considered as most recent plants. Okay, when we say that angiosperms, they are evolved from gymnosperm. In gymnosperms we know that xylem vessels are absent. Okay, but there are some exception, there are some higher gymnosperm in which vessels are present. Okay, so always we have exceptions. Okay, these exceptions, so biology, it is also a science of exception. Okay, now let's see some common branches of biology that you should know. There are number of branches, some are basic branches, some are applied branches. As soon as you'll go to your highest standards, higher classes, you will understand, but you must be habitual or you must be familiar with some common branches. Okay, so let's see, already botany and zoology we have seen what is botany, what is zoology. Now let's see some other branches of biology. Okay, let's start with this branches of biology. At least you should know their meanings. Branches of biology. Morphology. Okay, what is mean by morphology? Many a times you might have heard this word. What is mean by morphology? Now this is applied for both plants as well as for animals. Morphology, it is a science where we study the external characteristics which are visible from externally. When we say particular plant, particular animal, particular plant height is this much, its girth is this much, it has green color leaves, brown color stem is rough, stem is pale in color, it is smooth. Okay, when we observe external features, so observable external characteristics are called as morphological characteristics. Okay, so morphology, it is a branch, okay, where we study external characteristic of organism. Okay, that is known as morphology. The second branch, that is anatomy. Anatomy. Okay, anatomy means internal structures. When we study internal structures of organism, for example, plants are composed of number of cells. Plants are composed of number of tissues, like there is parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, phloem. Okay, these cells have different type of shape, they store different types of material. These cells are organized to form different types of tissues and tissue system. In case of animals also, there is an epithelial tissue, there is connective tissue, there are bones, there are skeleton, okay, there are tendons. Okay, different types of cells are present. Okay, so when we study internal structure of organism, that is called as anatomy. Okay, so anatomy, it is a branch in which we study internal structure, how the particular organism is composed of, that we study, that is called as anatomy. Okay, the third one, that is called as physiology. Physiology. Okay, We know that every living organism, whether it is unicellular or multicellular, okay, that organism has to perform several functions, several metabolic processes, okay, to live. Yes, for example, there is respiration, photosynthesis, excretion, okay, digestion. So all the metabolic reactions, processes which occur inside a cell or living organism, that we study under physiology. Okay, so physiology is a science where we study processes, okay, so life processes, different types of metabolic reactions which occur in a cell, different types of chemical reactions which occur in a living cell, okay, that we study, that branch it is known as physiology. Fine. Next one, embryology. Embryology. Now embryology, it is a branch of biology where we study development of embryo. There is a specific developmental pathway in every organism, okay, in which or through which embryo undergoes different developmental stages. So that study it is called as embryology. Next one, cytology. Cytology, we know that meaning of term cytos meaning cell, okay. We know that every living organism is composed of cell, that we are going to see after this part, okay. So study of cell is different components, function, okay, that is called as cytology. Fine. Next one, ecology. Okay, so ecology, it is study of environment. We know that nature, that is the non-living things, okay, deific factor, physical factors like light, temperature, wind, water, okay, so different types of life forms, that is plants, animals, okay, and this physical factor, they are interacting with each other, okay, and they live a life in a coordinated way. So the branch of the science in which we study aspect related to environment, that is known as ecology. Fine. Then next one, evolution. Evolution, you might be knowing, everyone. Evolution is the study of history, okay, study of past, okay. This also we are going to study in detail in class 12, okay. So evolution, it is a study of events which occur in past, okay. Then immunology. Immunology, okay. Immunology, it is a science in which we deal with different types of cells, their role and function, which are involved in the defense mechanism of our body. So that is known as immune system or immune response. We know, or you might have heard about antigens, antibodies. We know that. What is the antigen? Antigen, it is any foreign substance, okay, or any substance which acts as a foreign material, foreign particle to our body. It is known as antigen. Now to expel out that antigen, to kill that antigen, our body, okay, act on that antigen. Either cell to cell contact takes place, or some cells secrete some antibodies to kill that antigen, okay. So study of all these things, you might have heard about immunity, innate immunity, acquired immunity, cell mediated immunity, okay? So all this part we study under the branch that is called as immunology, okay. Next one, biochemistry. Biochemistry, obviously when chemistry merges with biology, it becomes biochemistry. Now biochemistry is very important because we know that at the end cells, okay, or our body, it is composed of some molecules, okay, biomolecules. Those molecules which are essential for life, we call them as biomolecules. We are going to study them in detail. For example, carbohydrates are there, proteins are there, fats are there. So in this branch we study nature of these biomolecules. So biochemistry, we study a cell at a molecular level, we study the chemical nature of that cell or its component, that come under biochemistry, okay. Next one, genetics, okay. Genetics, it is a branch which deals with study of inheritance. Okay, we know that characters or features are transferred from one generation to the next generation. Every individual shares some common characteristics from their parents, and we have some new characteristics which are not present in parents, but we receive the genetic information, that is genes, from our parents. So the study in which heredity it is observed, or the study of heredity and inheritance, we do under genetics. Okay, then molecular biology. Molecular biology. Okay, molecular biology, in this branch or in this system we study the molecular nature of living organism. Usually we study what is DNA, what is RNA, how protein synthesis takes place. Okay, so all these aspects we study under this part. Next one, taxonomy. Again important. Taxonomy, it is a branch where we are dealing with classification. Okay, where we are dealing with classification of organisms. Okay, how to classify these plants and animals, what criteria can be used in the classification. Okay, how we can identify a particular plant or animal, what is the process in the identification, what is the process in the nomenclature. Okay, that we do in this branch, that is known as taxonomy. So it deals with classification, identification and nomenclature of living organisms, that is called as taxonomy. Okay, then okay, so these are some basic branches. There are so many branches, but at least these branches you should know, because we are going to study this. Okay, so these are some branches. If you have any reference book with you, you can read it. If you get any doubt, okay, in this week, you just do reading. Okay, if you have any reference book with you, just go on reading the basic things. Fine. So if you find anything that you are not able to understand, that you can send to me. I will try to explain, or we can discuss this during our crowd session class also. Fine. So this is some basic what is biology, so that we can build up the idea what we are going to study in biology. Now, when we say that living organism, every organism is composed of cell. Okay, this you have learned in your previous classes. The cell, it is a structural and functional unit of living organism. Unicellular organism in which single cell is able to perform all the functions. There is no division of labor. Every single cell performs all the functions. Such organisms are called as unicellular organisms. Whereas in case of multicellular organisms, the body is composed of different types of cells. Okay, there we observe division of labor. Now, what is mean by division of labor? Let's take example. In case of plants, some cells are there which we call as parenchymal cells. Some cells are there which we call parenchyma. Some cells we call as parenchyma. These cells are structurally different from each other. Besides this, they are functionally different also. So to perform a specific function, cells have different type of structure. Okay, so those organisms which are multicellular, in them particular group of cell, okay, has assigned a particular function. So throughout their life they do the same function. Okay, for example, mostly parenchyma, they are involved in the storage of food material. Okay, collenchyma, as they have thick walls, sclerenchyma, they have dead and lignified cell walls, they provide strength to the plant. Okay, so in this way we find there is a division of labor. In case of unicellular organism, can you tell me some examples of unicellular organisms? There are bacteria. Okay, bacteria are unicellular organism. As we move up, in case of fungi, in case of bryophytes, in case of pteridophytes, gymnosperm, angiosperms, okay, animals, higher animals, starting from sponges, then your annelida, echinodermata. Okay, all these are multicellular organisms. Okay, where particular group of cell has assigned a function. Okay? So we find there is a division of labor. In humans also we have different organs which perform different types of function. For example, there is a digestive system which starts from our mouth, esophagus, stomach, intestine. Okay, so only these parts of body, they are involved in the process of digestion. When we say respiratory system, there are pair of nostril, trachea, lungs, okay, associated blood vessel. They are doing the job of respiration and breathing exchange. There is a fluid connective tissue in the body, that is blood and lymph, which collect the material, which transfer this material throughout the body. Fine. So they are doing their function. We have bones, that is the skeletal system. Okay. We have muscles which are attached to bones. Okay. So this skeletal system and muscular system, they function in a coordinated way to bring about different types of movement. So every organ, every tissue is performing a specific function, that is only called as division of labor. Okay, so organisms, okay, they could be unicellular or multicellular. Okay, organisms could be unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular organism, as I told you, examples: protozoans, bacteria. Okay, protozoans include your amoeba, paramecium, okay, euglena. These all are unicellular organs. We are going to study their structure in detail later on, but just to build up the preliminary idea in your mind. Okay, so these are unicellular organs. Multicellular organisms, plants, animals, fungi. Okay, these are examples of multicellular organism. In unicellular organisms, single cell performs all the vital functions. Multicellular organisms, there are number of cells, okay, which aggregate to form tissues. Okay, we know that cell, it is a basic unit of life. Okay, many cells aggregate to form tissue. Okay, different tissues aggregate to form organs. Okay, and many organs, they unite, they coordinate to form organ system. Okay, so as we move up from sponges, coelenterate, okay, until we reach to chordates, okay, there is an increased level of cellular organization. So cell, it is a basic unit, it is a structural unit, okay, of life. Cells aggregate to form tissues, tissues aggregate to form organs, and different organs, they unite, they coordinate, okay, and they form organ system. When we say digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system, okay, muscular system, skeletal system, it is a system. It is composed of different types of organs. Okay, digestive system composed of mouth, okay, esophagus, okay, stomach, intestine. Okay, so different organs, they give rise to organ system. Fine. So unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. On the basis of nature, cell can be classified as prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. This also you might have learned in your previous standards. Okay, on the basis of nature, cell could be classified as prokaryotic, and eukaryotic. First we will try to understand what is the meaning of prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Okay, prokaryotic means what? Pro meaning primitive. Okay, pro meaning of pro is primitive. Okay, and karyon means nucleus. Okay, so those cells in which nucleus is of primitive nature, such organisms, so such cells are called as prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic means U meaning advanced. meaning advanced or new, and again karyon meaning nucleus. Okay, so now let's see in detail. Okay, prokaryotic, those cells in which nucleus is of primitive nature. What do you mean by primitive nature? Have you studied structure of bacteria? Definitely you have studied. Okay, do bacteria have a nucleus inside? Okay, in prokaryotic cell nucleus is absent, nuclear membrane is absent. Okay, the genetic material, whether DNA or RNA, it is embedded in a common cytoplasm. Okay, such nucleus or such cell is called as prokaryotic. So we can say bacteria are primitive cells. Okay, they were present from birth of this earth. So from that time they were present on this earth, they were primitive. So in prokaryotic cell nuclear membrane is absent. Okay, other cell organelles are absent except ribosome. So membrane bound cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, mitochondria, chloroplast, okay, vacuoles, lysosomes, these structures, these membrane bound cell organelles are absent. Only ribosomes are present because ribosomes are non-membrane bound cell organelles and they are essential for process of protein synthesis. So when we draw the structure of bacterial cell, I am just drawing for your reference. We are going to study in detail structure of bacteria. In bacteria, the outermost layer is called as cell wall. Okay, inside the cell wall there is cell membrane. Okay, so cell membrane is universal. It is present in all types of cells, whether unicellular or multicellular. So that is cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane encloses a fluid or matrix that is called as cytoplasm. Cell membrane encloses fluid or matrix called as cytoplasm, and inside the cytoplasm there is a coiled genetic material, DNA or genetic material. Okay, this genetic material is not enveloped or not covered by a nuclear membrane. Okay, so in case of prokaryotic cell, well defined nucleus is absent, so they are called as, yes, prokaryotic, primitive type of cell. These are not new cell, these are not advanced cell. Okay, so that is prokaryotic. So bacteria are true prokaryotic cells. Okay, because nuclear membrane is absent. Okay, genetic material or DNA, it is present freely in the cytoplasm. It is not enveloped by nuclear membrane. Okay, cell membrane bound cell organelles are absent, like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, mitochondria, chloroplast. Okay, except ribosomes. Ribosomes are present because they are non-membrane bound. Okay, and they play significant role in protein synthesis. Besides this, in cytoplasm there is a reserve food material. Okay, so such cells are called as prokaryotic cells. Now eukaryotic cell meaning advanced cell. Okay, they have well defined nucleus, genetic material DNA, which is called as controlling unit of a cell. It is a hereditary material. It passes on the information, genetic information, from one generation to the next generation. Okay, so it is well protected by a nuclear membrane. So in what way this nucleus of this cell it is advanced? It has well defined nucleus. Okay, such type of cells, they have well defined nucleus. Nucleus has nuclear membrane. Okay, inside the nuclear membrane there is genetic material, either DNA or RNA. Okay, genetic material it is present. Cytoplasm has all different types of cell organelles. Okay, so membrane bound cell organelles are present in the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cell. Fine. Now this we can study as plant cells and animal cells, because structurally there is little difference in between plant cell and animal cell. Okay, so in case of eukaryotic cell, they have well defined nucleus. Well defined nucleus is present with nuclear membrane enclosing DNA or genetic material inside. Okay, now these eukaryotic cells, they can be studied as plant cell and animal cells. Okay, so eukaryotic cells, plant cells, okay, and animal cells. And animal cells. Okay, so plant cells and animal cells. Okay, now plant cells, they are usually hexagonal in outline, like this. Okay, it's not fixed, sometimes they may be oval shaped also. Okay, the basic difference between plant cells and animal cells is that plant cells, they are surrounded by a cell wall. Okay, so presence of cell wall, it is a basic difference between plant cells and animal cell. Animal cells do not have cell wall. In them, cell membrane, it is the outermost layer, whereas in case of plant cells, there is a very thick cell wall. Okay, or plant cells, they have a very thick cell wall which is composed of cellulose. Okay, later on it is deposited by hemicellulose, lignin, that will increases the thickness of cell. Okay, inside the cell wall there is cell membrane. Again, as I told you, nature of cell membrane is same whether it is prokaryotic or eukaryotic cell. Okay, so in plant cell, cell wall is present. Just beneath the cell wall there is a cell membrane. Okay, there is a well defined nucleus, okay, which hosts genetic material, DNA, okay, and other types of cell organs that we will study later on. Okay, just to understand the nature of plant cell. So different types of cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, chloroplast, mitochondria, then vacuoles, okay, are found in the cytoplasm. Besides this, in plant cells, there is a large central vacuole. So most of the space in a plant cell is occupied by large vacuole. It pushes the cytoplasm towards the periphery. Okay, so there is a large vacuole. Okay, so this is plant cells. Okay, animal cells, as they do not have cell wall, okay, cell membrane, it is the outermost layer. In plant cells, this cell wall, they give proper shape to the cell, maintain the shape. Okay, in case of animal cells, as there is no cell wall, the shape of a cell, it is not fixed. So cell membrane acts as the outermost layer. Nature of cell membrane, same like bacteria, like plant cell. Inside the cell membrane, there is a larger nucleus, okay, again which holds genetic material, one or few nucleoli. Okay, there is a cytoplasm which is present inside the cell. Cytoplasm again has membrane bound cell organelles. Okay, in case of animal cell, instead of single large central vacuole, many smaller vacuoles are present. Okay, plastids are absent in animal cell. Plastids, we know that chloroplast, it is a type of plastid. Chloroplasts are involved in the photosynthesis. Animals cannot perform photosynthesis because plastids are absent. Only plants can undergo photosynthesis. They have chloroplasts which are filled with the pigment chlorophyll. Okay, with the help of chlorophyll, okay, light energy is converted into chemical energy. It is stored in, or it is used in the synthesis of sugars. Okay, fine. So these plastids are absent in animal cells. Okay, So this is again another difference between plant cells and animal cells. Okay, lysosomes, which are called as suicidal bags. Okay, lysosomes are filled with hydrolytic enzymes. These lysosomes are present in animal cells, but they are absent in plant cells. Okay, in animal cells, lysosomes are present. Vacuoles are of small size and they are many in number, whereas in case of plant cell, usually there is a single large central vacuole. Okay, in case of animal cells, centrioles are present. Again, centriole, it is also one cell organelle. Centrioles are absent in plant cell. When we are going to learn the cell topic, that time we are going to study structure of all these cell organelle in detail. Fine. So centrioles are present in animal cell, but they are absent in plant cells. Fine. So such type of cells in which well developed nucleus is present. Fine. Well developed nucleus with nuclear membrane, nucleolus inside, genetic material inside. Such type of cells are called as eukaryotic cells. So these are advanced type of cells, whereas prokaryotic cells are those cells, okay, which have primitive type of nucleus. Now in what way I told you primitive? In this, well defined nucleus is absent, nuclear membrane is absent, genetic material or DNA, it is embedded in the cytoplasm itself. Membrane bound cell organelles are absent. Fine. Such type of cell, it is called as, yes, prokaryotic cell. Fine. So these are some basic things related to cellular. At least you should know what is a cell. Cell is what? Cell, it is a structural and functional unit of living organism. Every living organism is composed of cell. In case of unicellular organism, a single cell is able to perform all the vital functions. In case of multicellular organism, these different types of cells, they aggregate to form tissues. Tissues aggregate to form organ, and different organs, they make the organ system. In case of multicellular organisms, we find there is a division of labor. All cells, all tissues, they are not performing same function. Okay, they perform, or they are assigned different types of functions. Okay, so we find there is a division of labor in multicellular organism. In case of eukaryotic cells, they have well-defined nucleus, nuclear membrane is present. Nuclear membrane encloses a fluid or matrix that is known as nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm encloses the DNA or the genetic material, okay, which called as the hereditary material, which is passed on to the next generation. Fine, that is the nucleic acid. Okay. Then it has well-defined nucleus, it has membrane-bound cell organelles which perform specific function for the cell. In case of plant cells and animal cells, plant cells have thick and rigid cell wall which help in the maintenance of shape of plant cell. It also prevents the bursting of plant cells. Okay. That is cell wall. Cell wall is absent in animal cells. So animal cells can burst, okay, if it swells. We know that you have studied about hypertonic solution, hypotonic solution. So if we keep animal cell in hypotonic solution whose concentration is less than cell sap, then what will happen? Water or the solution will start entering inside the cell. There is no protective layer which can exert the negative pressure on the cell. So as much the cell start absorbing water or solution, it will increase in volume. That will create pressure on the cell membrane and ultimately cell can burst. In case of plant cells, there is a strong and rigid cell wall which is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin. It protects the cell from bursting. So it maintains the shape. Fine. This plant cell, it is this cell wall is absent in animal cell. Now in between two adjacent plant cells, there is a cementing material. Okay, the cementing material is called as middle lamella. Okay, in between these two cells, there is a cementing material who just holds adjacent cells, that is known as middle lamella. Middle lamella. This middle lamella, it is formed when cells are formed. Okay, the process, it is known as cell division, that we will see later on how these cells are undergoing cell division, how they form this middle lamella. This middle lamella, it is made up of calcium and magnesium pectate. Okay, through this middle lamella, through this cell wall, these adjacent cells are communicating with each other, so that they can transfer their materials, okay, in between. These connections are called as plasmodesmata. Okay, these cytoplasmic bridges, cytoplasmic connections between two adjacent cells, these are called as plasmodesmata. Fine. So this is about plant cell. Plant cell have central large vacuole, okay, as well as all the membrane bound cell organelle except centrioles and lysosomes, which are absent in plant cells, present in animal cells. Animal cells do not have cell wall, so animal cell can burst if it is present in hypotonic solution. Instead of single large vacuole, animal cells have smaller many vacuoles. They have other membrane bound cell organelles, as well as they have centrioles and lysosomes, which are absent in animal cells. Fine. So these are basics about cell. What is eukaryotic cell, what is prokaryotic cell, and some differences between plant cells and animal cells. Fine. In the next class, we will try to understand how a cell divides, because cell division, it is an essential process for growth of an organism as well as for reparation of body part. Okay, so that part we will try to cover in the next lesson, because we have to focus on the life processes. Okay, so in 1 or 2 lectures I will try to cover up that part. Okay, so this is for the day. If you have any doubt, you can ask to me. Okay, so goodbye and take care.